So the strong impulse and desire to help. I was told, help the elder, help the needy. And now later, becoming a priest, I realized how important it is to look at people and see their troubles and try to fix their problems. That's why they come to church, don't they? And then later in my life, at some point in my life, having children and being a married man, helping in the family and trying to fix problems in the family were paramount. Well, today's celebration of the Myrrh-Bearing women, par excellence servants, tells us that helping and fixing are not really good. And you might say, what? Do you try to help? Do you try to fix problems with your kids and your family and then maybe in the community if you see somebody? Well, I tried to do that and I failed miserably. And today is an opportunity for me to repent. First of all, to ask forgiveness in front of you for not serving you, but trying to help and fix your problems. Helping and fixing are undesirable. Let me explain. When we help somebody, just like I was told, you're young, you're strong, help the one who's old, who doesn't have the strength to get up in the bus. Help him or her. Helping comes out of the position of imbalance. I am strong, he is weak. This is not good. Let me tell you a few things about this. There's a strength difference here. You see, the Myrrh-Bearing women didn't go to the tomb as the almighty ones. The almighty ones, the men, chickened out. They went to the tomb as the weak ones, with great humility, with faith, yet great courage that came from their heart with faith. As the weak ones, even to the last moment, wondering, who's going to move that stone away from us? But when we try to help somebody, typically, we come with strength. And when we do this, we think we do a great thing. But in reality, we take more than we give. We take that person's self-esteem. We take that person's sense of worth. I'm strong, you're weak. Remember, I take away that person's integrity and the wholeness of that person. It hurts for one to be helped in this way. Think of the one who comes knocking at our door here asking for help. Oh, Father or community, my children are on the street. I have no roof above their head. Help us. And here we are, the mighty ones. Well, help them. This is bad. The Myrrh-Bearing women, Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea, could not take anything from the dead Christ. Could not. He was dead. They did this because they saw the light. Out of love. Out of love. Pure heart. Out of love. When I help somebody, I grow increasingly more aware of my strength. But to serve as the Myrrh-Bearing women, Joseph and Nicodemus, doesn't need strength. They didn't bring strength. Serving needs ourselves with our weaknesses, with our shortcomings, with our illnesses, with our darkness. We bring them all in a wholeness to the one whom we serve. When we help somebody, they incur debt. They become debtors to us because we help them. Time, talent, treasure, doesn't matter. Serving, when strength is not what brings us there in imbalance, is mutual gain. There's no debt that one owes to the other. I am served myself when I serve. I am served as the person I am serving. There's a mystical exchange of service, of grace when this happens. Finally, when we help, we have a feeling of satisfaction. We fed so many poor. We did so many scholarships. We opened the door to so many people. Yes. When we serve, we feel and express gratitude. And it is this gratitude that makes the church whole, full. It is this gratitude that enables us to go into the world for the Great Commission, right? To teach and preach and baptize others. Evangelism and outreach. Helping. Are you good helpers? Well, I am not. I am not. How about fixing? Well, I know you have problems, but you know what? I have more than you do. And I struggle with them and I cannot fix them. Fixing others' problems comes as a really bad thing as well. You know why? Because automatically we perceive the other as broken. Here's the broken one. I am not. Moreover, it creates in me maybe a justified sense of expertise, of mastery. Hey, I went to the seminary, right? Or hey, I read so many books, or I'm so old, or I come from Greece, I have a cousin in Mount Athos. Here I am. Who are you? You're the broken one. But I'll fix you. Let's talk about it. Danger, and it is so bad. The Myrrh-Bearing women and the two men whom we celebrate today, Joseph and Nicodemus, teach us how to serve. We serve life not because it is broken. We serve the others not because they are broken, but because life is holy. It's a total change of the paradigm here. We serve the others because we see the holiness of God in them, the light of God in them, the image of God in them. So, when I don't see the holiness and the wholeness of the human being, when I don't trust that they are too fully equipped by God to be growing to be divine by grace as He is by nature, then I fail. When I serve, I see, I trust, I see the light, that wholeness, and I respond to that. When I try to fix in this way, I am the expert, he or she is the broken one, automatically I fall in the sin of judging. I judge the other. This creates distance. Although I try to fix, creates distance, disconnect, and the difference. I am healthy, she is sick. This is why we don't want to be fixing others' problems. What do we want to do? Serve. You gathered by now what serving is about. Serving is an experience of a mystery, of encountering Christ in the other. Not because He's broken, but because He's holy. Of seeing the light in the other. It is an experience that in mysterious ways opens to us the door to something greater than this life. In our neighbor. We serve the same thing over and over again. The holiness of life. Whereas helping and fixing can go to a variety of things. I help this one because he's sick. I help this one because he's old. I fix this one because he has marriage problems. All diversity is scattered. But serving is so easy. I serve you and you and you because you're holy. And I see the light in you. Unlike helping and fixing, which drain us out, would we be in the family or in the church, in ministries, we burn out? Serving is renewing. It is recharging. We want to serve more. And this is a meter, a gauge that tells us if we serve or not. Again, this happens in the homes as well. Children serving parents, parents serving children, spouses, and so on. Do I get drained out? That's a sign that I might be helping or fixing. If I truly serve and I see the one, Christ, and the other one, that mystical encounter brings me up. And of course, the other one too, to transcend and overcome all the difficulties in there. For you see, we can help and fix to the end of the world without serving. It's so easy to fall into this. But we can also serve without the traps of helping and fixing, which means what? Change the way we see life. Not to see when we help that the one is weak. When we fix somebody, not to see the one who is broken, but to serve and see them in the image of God. To see that light in them. Yeah. What does it boil down to? From the outside, it is the same thing. If we look at people helping and fixing and serving, we cannot tell what's going on. But guess who can tell that? You. In your heart. You can look and see how I've been doing. How am I doing? It is an inner experience difference. The condition of the heart from the outside, unseen. So look inside. And my call today is to repent from these. I'm the first one to step in front of you to tell you that I struggle most of my time to help you and to fix you. Did you know this? You probably didn't know because it was in my heart. But what happened now? The women went to the tomb. The tomb was empty. The light came out of it. And in the presence of this light, I see myself failing. Well, let's look at the scriptures a little bit. Do we have servants in the scriptures? Absolutely. Number one servant, the suffering servant. Isaiah 53, the Lord himself. Magnificent chapter, 53. It's the one who died to serve us, obedient to the Father. Became sin to take away the sin so that we become righteous through his righteousness by means of faith, not works. Do we have other servants? The angels. In the book of Revelations, we find John the evangelist, the author of the book, having the vision of the angel and falling down to worship the angel. And the angel said, oh, no, get up. What are you doing? I'm just a servant. I am here to serve you. And the prophets and all those righteous people who listen to the words of this book worship God alone, not me. The angels are servants of God and of us as well. Who else? Well, the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. Help me with that name. Right? He's the one who deported the Jews. He is called by God, my servant. What does it mean? That Vladimir Putin might be very well called by God his servant. In the eyes of God, Jerusalem, the Jews had to be deported. The king of Babylon served God in this way. Now, you and I are called to be servants. We're told that if you want to be the greatest, you have to be the servant. We're told that the servants are the ones who follow Christ, to be where he is, and they will be honored by the Father in the Gospel of St. John. And finally, the servants, like the apostles, changed that status, the true servants, at the very end, to become the friends of God. That's above serving, the friends of God. And they enjoy this because they will know the mystery of the Holy Trinity and partake of it fully. What comes along with becoming a servant friend of God? Persecution. That's a sign that will get up there. So, these are some aspects of being servants. To serve God. Now, what does it mean for us? To serve God, first of all, means to worship God and to show gratitude to God, to thank God, which is why we come together to this very service, the Divine Liturgy. Worship and thanksgiving are the two aspects of the priesthood that we share by means of our baptism. Allow me to close here with a story. I need to go to the altar to bring you the story. Some of you might be familiar with this book here. It's called Father Arseni. Did anybody of you read from this? Dr. Michael, raise your hand. At least I know you did. We started this book in 2019, quite a few years ago. Father Arseni, 1893 to 1973. Priest, prisoner, spiritual father. It is an amazing book. He died in 1973. What is it, 50 years ago? Well documented. Many people knew him. He lived during the years of communist Russia. He was imprisoned because he was a priest, sent to the Gulag in Siberia, and part of the extermination camps with many people who came there for different reasons. They opposed the communist regime. They might have been intellectuals, educated people, priests, some of them having had some property. Didn't matter. You're the enemy of the people. Now, sounds familiar, because these days we could be the enemy of so-and-so category, social category. You do something, you are the enemy of so-and-so. These people were the enemy of the very people of Russia. Therefore, they were put in prison. What for? To be killed. In this prison where he was, there were two large categories of prisoners. Some of them were indeed for political reasons, but others were criminals, the most brutal, wild people of the times. Make no mistake, they were not there by coincidence. The communists put them together so the criminals will kill the others. Father Arseni, in the middle of this hell, proves himself to be a very strong, faithful man, becoming a light for many. He was hated by the criminals, by most of them. He was loved by others. And his very presence was served as outreach in the prison. Evangelism and outreach. What did Father Arseni do? Just witness his faith. At some point in time, Father Arseni dies. Gets pneumonia, he dies. He's taken to the infirmary, and he's lost. A few of his closer inmates were next to him. And I'd like to read to you about his experience. I'll tell you first of all that he died. He had an encounter of the Virgin Mary after his death. He prayed to her that he would be sent back. He prayed to her that she will intercede to the Lord to send him back. And he was sent back. And he finished his term and he was released from the prison. This is what he experienced. Now, after his death, he died now. And his soul being separated from his body, he could see. And he prayed, he cried, begging God, the Mother and God and all the saints to have mercy on them all, those prisoners who were in the prison. But his prayer was wordless. And now the barracks and the entire camp appeared before his spiritual eyes in a very different way. He saw the whole camp with all its prisoners and its prison guards as it from inside. Each person he could see now carrying within himself a soul which was now distinctly visible to Father Arseni. The souls of some prisoners were afire with faith which kindled the people around them. The souls of others, like these two men here, burned with a smaller but ever growing flame. Others had only small sparks of faith and only needed the arrival of a shepherd to fan these sparks into a real flame. There were also people whose souls were dark and sad, without even the least a spark of light. Now, looking into the souls of the people which God had allowed him to see, Father Arseni was extremely moved. And he said, "Oh Lord, I lived among these people and did not even notice them. How much beauty they carry within them. So many are true ascetics in the faith, although they are surrounded by such spiritual darkness and unbearable human suffering. They not only save themselves, but give their life and their love to the people around them, helping others by word and by deed. Lord, where was I? I was blinded by pride and mistook my own small deeds for something grand. Father Arseny saw that the light of faith burned not only in the prisoners, but also in some of the guards and administrators who, within the limits of what they could do, performed good deeds. For them, this was extremely difficult because it was very dangerous. Father Arseny asked, "What is all this for? What is this all for?" So he stood and observed the spiritual world of the people. The same people with whom he had lived, talked, or had only just seen. How surprisingly varied and spiritually beautiful this world appeared before him. People who in the crowd of others had seemed to Father Arseny to be spiritually empty and depersonalized, he now saw anew. He saw that they carried so much faith, so much inexhaustible love for others, did so much good and bore their cross without complaint. And he, Father Arseny, living among them, he, the priest and hieromonk Arseny, had not seen them, had not noticed them, had not connected with them. So he said, "O Lord, where was I? Pardon me and have mercy on me. I only saw myself. I was deluded. I did not have enough faith in people." What a beautiful example of a holy man repenting from serving and fixing. From helping and fixing to become a better servant. Only after he died, he could spiritually see that every single person in the image of God has a beauty that calls us to serve. Not out of imbalance of being over the weak, not out of being so good over the broken, but out of love for God. So this loving God now, through the prayers of the Holy Virgin Mother, to whom Father Arseny was taken in his home village, in the church there, answered his prayer. He asked God to help these people, and he said, "Send me back." And the Virgin Mary told him here, "The time of your death has not yet come, Arseny. You must serve. You must serve people sometime longer. God is sending you back to help His people. Go and serve. I will not leave you." So it is for us. When we serve, we're not alone. We're not alone. You see here, brothers and sisters, our God didn't come to condemn the world, but to save the world. And He did so by serving. He did not help. He did not fix. When Judas was washed his feet, the Last Supper, he was one of the 12. He was served by God Himself. Later, Christ knew this. He went astray. He betrayed Him. He sold Him for 30 coins. Yet, He got lost. Serving is not always 100% yield. Christ lost one of 12, although He served Him. Christ has come such that we'll be saved. And by means of His serving, He is helping and fixing us. Serving all the way to the cross is what gives us the ability to be helped and fixed by Him in His very living body, the Christ. And if we do not seek to be helped and fixed by God, by Christ, in the very life of the church, we cannot serve as the servants of God, seeing the beauty and holiness of others. Father Arseny was reminded this. Let us too Be thankful to God for being here today. Members of the church. The place where help and healing are offered. And fixing, that is, of any kind. So we could serve. And by doing this, worship and offer our gratitude. Christ is risen.